Hey guys, BCK here. Due to some popular demand, I decided to do an add-on video. These are the add-ons I use for Feral. I decided to do the first one about the hardest to configure of my add-ons, which is Debuff Filter. Now, Debuff Filter will be able to show you whatever buffs or debuffs you want specifically, and you can change the size, you can filter what you want, you can organize them and whatnot. It's an awesome add-on. Now let's get into it. Awesome. Now in order to configure this add-on, you will have to press escape, go to the interface tab, then go to add-ons, click on Debuff Filter and standalone config. So you will see 5 tabs on the left: general settings, frame layout, frame buffs, cooldown, profiles. In the general settings tab, there are only a few things you can change, like the ghost timer. I will show you in a little bit what a ghost is, and to lock your frames. When I configure my frames, I like to unlock them so I can move them around and whatnot, and then when I'm done, I just go ahead and lock them again. Don't forget to do that. Every time you check or uncheck something, the window will go a little bit small, so you'll have to extend it again every time. That's a little bit annoying, but whatever. On both the frame layout and frame buffs tabs, you will have the buff and debuff tab. And on the top right corner, you will have a little menu that you can select if it's going to be for configuring on the player, on the target, or on the focus. Make sure you're configuring the right one and try to configure like just one at a time. Because after a while, when you have configured, like let's say all the buffs, you can export them to your focus, for example, if you already did it for your target. And finally, the cooldown tab. This tab I don't use at all, and I'm not gonna go in depth about it, but you can basically set up a little space where you have a lot of things all clumped up, and you can make them as big or as small as you want. I don't use it because I find it to be more of a nuisance than anything else. It's gonna take up some space. It's unpractical for me, but if you're gonna want to go ahead and experiment with it, you're free to do it. Now the ghost timer. When you have this option on, after a buff or a debuff expires, you will have the same icon there, but it will be a little bit faded out. I don't use it. For me, it's annoying. Maybe you like it. Just give it a test, and if you don't like it, then turn it off. Since I have already unlocked the frames, in order to drag any frame around, put them wherever you want, you have to hold and press shift, click that frame, and move it to wherever you want it to be. Personally, on this one, I'm going to put it right under my target so I can track the debuffs I have on him. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in some debuffs and make sure that the add-on is tracking them. Now the thing is, you only want the add-on to track certain debuffs or certain buffs. So you will have to go on to the show all and deselect everything that's there so that it doesn't track any other stuff. Now that that's done, it should only track Serpent Sting and Hunter Mark. I'm gonna throw some glaives at it and make sure it's not tracking it. Alright, so it's not tracking it, everything is good. Now the only thing we want to track is not the enemy debuffs or whatever we're going to put on them. We also want to track our major cooldowns, right? And also our Savage Roar. Since I'm using my Hunter, I'm just going to go ahead and put the Beast Within and make sure it's going to be tracking that. Deselect everything on the Show All tab and make sure it's only tracking that. And hey, there it is, along with Rapid Fire that I also put on the little box. So all these settings also work for your focus, if you have seen on my other videos. But what I recommend to do is set it up for your target and then go ahead and copy all those settings to your focus, and that will save up some time. In order to copy them, all you have to do is go to that little tab right on top of where you were writing the buffs or debuffs and select the copy it from player. In this case it would be target actually. By now you might have noticed that my icons are way bigger, so all you have to do is go to the frame layout and set the scale to the size you would like to have. So that about sums it up. What I did to set this is I went to Wowhead and went to the talent calculator and went class by class, checking out all the buffs they would have that I would like to track, and started putting in there. So it took me around an hour to set it up on my droid, and then I basically exported it to all my other characters using the profile manager, and well, that's it. So this is the only add-on I use that really needs any configuration, even though I will go over my other add-ons and why I have them in the next video. If you liked this, if it was helpful, give me a like, hit me with a subscribe if you want more guides, if you want more feral info, and well, this is BCK out. Love you. Peace.